Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 17 of Dirtmasters Unplugged, the custom tuning build series, which is kind of a fusion between special projects and of course Dirtmasters, where we take road-going vehicles which are typically not used for rallying or just don't have a rally spec version available on the game, and turn it into a custom from the ground up rally spec machine. And in this episode we're making a pretty cool WRC model, or WRC style model, which I'm kind of disappointed didn't actually happen. Ford of course has a strong showing in the WRC. The Volvo C30, which is the car here, of course uses the Ford Focus ST's engine and chassis. So it would follow that you'd kind of expect Volvo, being to some extent a rally legend with their older models, to make a WRC spec machine. It's the perfect car for it. Focus based, hatchback body style, but for some reason that never happened. But of course we can make a representation of that in the game. So that is this representation. I call it the Polestar C30 WR09. And as far as the visual setup, it's pretty simple. I could show you guys, but there's not much point. I've fitted the third type body kit, which gives it this very flared WRC look, the custom manufacturer spec rear wing, and I've painted it French blue, or I call it Polestar blue, but in the game it's called French blue from the Lotus Europa, to give it the, as I said, Volvo Polestar performance colours. So we'll go over to the garage for the mechanical setup, and then take it out to the dirt track to see what it can do. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, I've built this car to WRC specs, 320 horsepower, 1230 kilos, and thankfully it actually sits at a rounded off 480 pp. So I've fitted dirt tyres, of course, because I'm taking it on the gravel track. For the brakes, I've increased the front balance to 6. For the ride height, we've got 100 front and rear, springs to 475 front and rear, dampers to 4, anti-roll as high as possible, with neutral camber and tow. It's not a top speed car, of course, and you want those close ratio gears for rallying, so we've got an auto setting of 130 with individual gears of 6.5, 4650, 3550, 2825, 2300 and 1950 with a final drive of 2. For the diff, lowest initial torque, lowest acceleration sensitivity and highest braking. As far as power, you don't have to follow exactly what I've done here, because as I've mentioned in some of my tunes before, if you actually give a car more power upgrades and then reduce the power, even reducing that same car to the same power with more upgrades means that you can have the same power at a higher PP. That probably sounds pretty complicated, but in other words, I have pretty much all the upgrades, so it sits at 320 horsepower and 480 pp. If, however, I am to, for instance, remove the sports computer there and then increase the power to 320 again, you'll see it sits at a slightly lower PP. And that works with any car on the game that can be tuned. So the reason why I've done that is, for one thing, to increase the red line, to make it sound like a proper rally car, but also to have that same WRC spec power at a higher PP, just to make it a bit closer to an actual WRC car. It does also have an oil change, so you need to bear that in mind. We've got the downforce as high as possible, the full weight loss package of course, and a 59 kilo ballast put all the way to the back to compensate for the front wheel drive, and also to bring us up to the exact weight of a WRC machine. So let's finally go out to the track to see what it's capable of. Now overall, front wheel drive does always have its limitations for rallying, and it's unfortunate that we can't convert the car, or other vehicles as well, to different drivetrains, all-wheel drive. To be honest, even rear-wheel drive would be better than front-wheel drive in my opinion for rallying. However, this car is a very good rallying machine considering the front-wheel drive. And with front-wheel drive rally cars, or front-wheel drive road cars converted for rallying, you do have to adopt a completely different driving style to really get the best out of them. And the way that I would recommend using this car, and by extension any front-wheel drive rally car, is Brake for the corner, of course, but brake a little bit earlier than you usually would. Use the handbrake for the whole corner, but keep your throttle wide open, because you can lock the back end up but still have drive through the front wheels so that you can get the car to slide through the corners like a proper rally car. And overall, this is an extremely fun car to drive. So if you decide to use this tune, I hope you find it fun and potentially competitive. And that's it for this build. So I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.